Iran's nuclear capabilities were totally obliterated.
Also, this girl follows me on social media too, the spokeswoman. It's like a circle jerk of stupid 20-year-old Zionists that have no real life experience and just get told what to say by Zionists. Like that's all the Pentagon press pool is now. When the tragedy at Utah Valley University took place with Charlie Kirk, and there was a lot of people coming out and saying that Charlie was increasingly becoming dispossessed with this notion that Israel was some untouchable, amazing state that was so perfect. Netanyahu was so amazing. Everything they did was in the American interest, so on and so forth. One of the biggest revelations that came out, there were several, there was many, the donors, the text messages. We've covered all these things, I think, in enough detail, and many others have as well, such as Candace Owens. But I think one of the most amazing things was the recollection of the events preceding the war in Iran, in which Tucker Carlson admitted that Charlie Kirk was the only person who went to the Oval Office, looked Trump in the eyes, and said, "Sir, this is a bad idea. Do not go to war with Iran. This is not why we got you elected. The American people are not going to support this. Gen Z is definitely not going to support this." And Trump just lit into him. Okay? I want you to remember this. So we're going to take a look at what Tucker had to say about this.
He was one of the only people, I mean, truly one of the only people to go to the president whom he loved. He loved Donald Trump, like personally as well. And I think the president really loved him in a real way. But he was one of the only people to go to the Oval Office and say, "Sir, I totally understand and think Iran's really bad, but a war with Iran is not, is something that could really hurt our country." I mean, boy, that was an unpopular position. He didn't need to express it. Oh, of course. And he did it again. He didn't have some weird agenda. He wasn't mad at anybody. He was for his country, and he was for doing the right and wise and difficult thing. And he said that. He went to the Oval Office to say that. He took massive, massive abuse from his own donors, which is also something that you don't see people. And he loved his donors. It wasn't a hostile thing, but they had a different view. A lot of them, not all, but a lot. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me. And he said, "Look, I understand your perspective. This is my perspective, and we're going to do what we think is the right thing, the wise thing."
In that way, too, he was the voice of young people. I mean, there are no young people in the country anymore supporting this war and wanting Israel to continue its bombing campaign. That's just the truth. Look at the...
See how much clarity Meghan speaks with against the war in Iran, but now she's like salivating over war with Venezuela. She's clearly got some financial interest in the whole Venezuela affair. It's disgusting.
Polls, and he was in touch with them. And even where his own opinion may have differed from their opinion, he felt like he owed it to them to bring their message to the sitting president of the United States. I mean, that's what's been snuffed out.
Well, as he has been, unfortunately.
Now, the Gray Zone also did an article on this. They said, the Gray Zone reports Charlie Kirk was increasingly frustrated with the influence Israel had on President Trump. The source stated, after Charlie warned the president of bombing Iran on Israel's behalf, Trump responded by barking at him and angrily shutting down the conversation. This incident confirmed to Kirk that the president was being influenced by a foreign power to a level he's never seen before. Now, I'm bringing all of this back up for a very specific reason, because as we covered on the show, the Department of War kicked out all of the mainstream media journalists who, I mean, I have no tears over them being kicked out, but they replaced those mainstream media journalists in the Department of War press pool with a bunch of 20-year-old Zionists and Laura Loomer, who I'm not really sure what age she is. She looks like she's 70 or 60 with a bunch of Botox. I'm not really... She could be 20 for all I know. I don't know how old she is. But anyways, they replaced the mainstream media, okay, but with a bunch of 20-something-year-old Zionists. We went through the list of people that they chose to put in the Pentagon press pool. They're all Zionists. They're all people who either say nothing bad about Israel or say a lot of good things about Israel. A lot of people who went on that Israel trip funded by the Israeli government, where they met with all these Israeli politicians and they, got this propaganda tour, and they did a bunch of state media propaganda for the state of Israel. And we're trying to justify the war on Iran. And one of the people that is now in the Pentagon press pool is this individual right here, Monica Page. I'll be honest, I don't know who she is, but she is apparently a journalist. She's now a journalist. She's a representative of Turning Point USA, late Charlie Kirk's organization. The Charlie Kirk that, I don't know, maybe his the tragedy involving Charlie Kirk had something to do with his critique of the Iran war and going to President Trump and telling it to his face and getting barked at and defiled essentially in the process of doing. So they have this young woman there, Monica Page, and the way that she has decided, the way that TPUSA has decided to honor the legacy of Charlie Kirk and the organization he created, TPUSA, is to go represent the organization in the Department of War press pool and do a bunch of Israeli propaganda justifying a second war on Iran. Take a listen.
Thank you. And my second question regarding Iran, there are reports that Iran's been planning on rebuilding its nuclear facilities. Iranian's president has said that it plans to rebuild its nuclear facilities with, quote, greater strength. Can you provide us on any sort of update on where that currently stands?
I can tell you that Operation Midnight Hammer was an absolute resounding success. Iran's nuclear capabilities were totally obliterated.
Also, this girl follows me on social media too, the spokeswoman. It's like a circle jerk of stupid 20-year-old Zionists that have no real life experience and just get told what to say by Zionists. Like that's all the Pentagon press pool is now.
And experts estimated that, it would take 2 years for them to recover. So thanks to President Trump's bold and swift action, we were able to dismantle that threat to the American people. And I think it was also a historic operation by virtue of the fact that there was a clear end state. We have seen this department get marred down in the Middle East in endless wars, in nation building. That has stopped under this president and this secretary. We now have a clear end state, a clear mission set, and Operation Midnight Hammer was a success in dismantling that.
Midnight Hammer, that sounds a little bit risque. Anyways, so why on earth don't you think that TPUSA, they should be honoring Charlie Kirk by trying to avoid a second war in Iran, given that was like the last major thing he did in politics was try to stop a war in Iran? Maybe he risked his life for it. I think he did risk his life for it. Don't you think that should be what TPUSA is doing? But instead, Kingsley Cortez, I've got a question for you. They're building the nukes. They're getting the uranium from Maduro. And they're building these ICBMs. I know they're pointing them at Manhattan and San Diego, California, and then Central Ohio. And I think we need to do a second war. That's how you honor Charlie Kirk, by trying to go out and create the conditions, the propaganda conditions for a second war on Iran. Amazing. I think personally, given the fact that this was, I believe, the first press briefing that they did with all these journalists, I'd have to say that was probably a question that was given to this TPUSA official directly from the leadership of TPUSA, which I have big questions about. Candace has big questions about. Why is the leadership of TPUSA having their staff ask these questions to try and provoke another war on Iran, to justify another war on Iran? This is like effectively going out before the Iraq war and a journalist selling the lies about WMD, about yellow cake. And this is our America First organization. This is our organization that's not controlled by Israel. This is our organization that is trying to uphold the legacy of Charlie Kirk, who fought against the war in Iran. Give me a break. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. and it's extremely transparent. We see what's going on, and I'll just say I can't wait until the sit down that you all have with Candace Owens. But I guess we'll see if you have it, because Candace Owens couldn't show up in person on December 15th. So you said, oh, well, I guess we can't have the Tpusa Candace conversation now because you can't show up on December 15th. So we can't do it any other time, and we can't do it virtually either. So, yeah, sorry, we're going to have to back out. What a slimy, weaselly set of fools acting like that. It's so lame. Historic L for Tpusa, one after another. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.